Tarek Al-Wazir is our keynote speaker. Mr. Minister, can you come and stand up here? While you do, I will tell everybody that you are the Hessen Minister of Economics, Energy, Transport, and Regional Development. So when I asked the Minister what makes a fantastic keynote speech, he says, one where the audience goes away knowing more than when the keynote speaker started. How are you even going to know that? If you, when he finishes, make a huge round of applause, you start cheering, throw your papers up in the air, if you've learned something new, then we know that he's achieved the perfect keynote speech. If you just clap politely like this, we know that you learned nothing. No pressure, Minister. Use the money. Looking forward to it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your invitation to the opening ceremony of the Innovate4Climate conference, and I'm especially happy that this year's edition will be taking place here in Frankfurt, in the state of Hessen. Why? Because we in Frankfurt, the most important financial marketplace of continental Europe, put a special emphasis on discussing green and sustainable finance. Well, I know that some of you understood continental Europe, and I would really say take the opportunity to say that I really do regret the Brexit vote, but I really do regret that. But we somehow have to, just accept what happened and make the best out of it. So why Frankfurt? We think that our aim is to think about and achieve economic and ecological goals together. And I think that this city is especially qualified for green finance, on the one hand, due to the concentration of private sector financial institutions based here. Frankfurt is home to approximately 200 domestic and foreign banks and many financial services providers. And on the other hand, a large number of national and European authorities in banking and insurance sector who are also resident here, including the European Central Bank, which offers particularly great potential for the topic of green finance. So why did I say use the money? Because there is so much money around us, and it's invested every day. And the question is if it's invested in the right direction. And I think that green finance is a core element of the transformation process towards a green economy. It also helps in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris climate targets. And I think we have to use this money. Joint commitments to green finance are extremely important. I myself have seen positive developments in the area of green investments. Green finance has long since lost its status as a niche topic, developing now into an acknowledged investment concept. And I'm pleased to see that businesses have become increasingly aware that market value and future viability of their franchises will increasingly depend upon their role in a low-emissions world. Results from the economic activity of the last decades are becoming more and more evident. We enjoy a high level of prosperity here, even though not all participate. But on the other side of the coin, we also have to witness ecological destruction, climate change, exploitation, as well as economic and political instability worldwide. In 1971, this is the year I was born in, it took until the 21st of December of that year for humanity to consume all natural resources which are regenerated within 1 year. Last year, this so-called Earth Overshoot Day was on the 2nd of August. And this year, it might be at the end of July. In other words, humanity was using nature 1.7 times faster than ecosystems could regenerate. And this is a dramatic situation. Sometimes, in our everyday life, we forget that the situation of the earth and of mankind is dramatic. So green finance offers us the opportunity of setting a turning point, since when it comes to green finance, we're talking about real future markets. $1 trillion US. That's the annual volume of the global market for environmentally friendly companies and technologies. It has grown rapidly in the past years, and I'm convinced that it will continue to rise. The overriding goal is to achieve the transition of the energy sector, to use a German word, the so-called Energiewende, and this may be not only a, but the greatest challenge of our time. And I don't have to tell you, public investments can only contribute a small part of the necessary total volume. We started the Energiewende, the energy transition, in Germany in the year 2000. And in the year 2000, 5% of our electricity was produced by renewable energies. We reached 36% last year. So 5% 2000, 36% last year in a period of 17 years. And of course, this was quite expensive. And of course, we didn't finance this by public funding alone. Even a rich country like Germany wouldn't be able to do so. We used the money of the people in somehow giving them the opportunity of investment into the energy transition. And of course, some people did it because they think it's a great idea, and some did it because they wanted to earn money. So we have to somehow bring the one thing and the other thing together. So the financial and banking sector plays an important role, that of a central enabler. Private capital has to be mobilized, and institutional investors are really relevant. And therefore, sustainability has to be integrated into the regulatory and financial policy scope of the European Union. And we see positive developments here. The European Union is aiming to further strengthen sustainable investments with its action plan. And part of it is the development of a quality label for green financial products. On an international level, the G20 states are working on this topic together with the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, which was founded by the Financial Stability Board. I think these are all very important steps towards establishing green finance as a basic principle. And we see that we do not only increasingly talk about green finance at the financial marketplace like Frankfurt, but also take concrete action. And I think that we in Frankfurt are somehow a good example how the players in the field of the financial sector are taking action. We're working on that. So we were able to launch the Green Finance Cluster Frankfurt at the end of 2017. The cluster's aim is to bundle sustainability initiatives and to perform foundation work for green finance. And a special feature of the cluster is its emphasis on pragmatic and implementation-oriented solutions. And of course, we have to develop methods and instruments for the transformation process towards a green economy, whilst at the same time uncovering the difference between effective instruments and greenwashing. It really has to work. It shouldn't be only somehow a title or something nice to talk about, but it really has to work in fact. The world is getting the message loud and clear. I hope so. And I hope that you also spread the message that we in Frankfurt have something to say. We know our way around green finance, and Germany is truly and successfully tackling the issues of energy transition and climate change. And a few weeks ago, we even merged our cluster with Deutsche Börse Group's Accelerating Sustainable Finance initiative. So we put all the players on the marketplace here in Frankfurt into the same direction. And I think that this is a milestone in bundling and strengthening our activities in Frankfurt. And some of you might say that other European countries like UK, like France, like the Netherlands, like Switzerland are also working on green finance, financial marketplace initiatives. And we have a number of meaningful conferences on the subject that have really increased overall at the financial centers of these countries. And I would agree with you. Nevertheless, I'm really pleased about this development because it's a sign that financing a carbon-reduced world is also of strategic relevance within the financial marketplace competition. And competition is always a good way to devise new ideas. So, on the path of achieving a real change in the financial sector and in companies, a change towards more sustainability, towards green finance, we are committed to contribute our part from here. And I wish you all a very successful conference.
Trying to work out, Minister, did anybody learn anything? Yes, okay, very good.
I'm not sure if everyone is aware that Germany has tried to change something in the last 15, 16 years. But I'm not sure if you were aware that we somehow raised the percentage of renewables in our electricity sector from 5 to 36%, and we're even more. And you know, maybe it's a message to also other big states in the world. You know, Germany didn't get poorer but richer in this period.
Thank you very much.